Hello and welcome. My name is Francisco, and in this video, we are going to learn about text elements. We are going to learn a few, such as the heading elements or paragraph element, and we are going to learn why structure when creating text elements is so important. Let's review our definition of HTML, and that is its code used to structure and display content. I'd like to place an emphasis on structure and focus on why structure is so important when creating HTML elements. In the following example, structure helps us understand and comprehend the information that is provided. We begin with the main heading. This heading encompasses the whole document, and here we have how to serve coffee. This tells us that this entire document will be on how to serve coffee. We then have our subheadings, that is how to serve coffee cold and how to serve coffee hot. Then we have our subheadings, and that is how to serve coffee cold in a mug, how to serve it cold in a cup, and how to serve it hot in a mug. Once we have all of our headings, we can then place our paragraph elements, and we have a complete HTML document that is easy to understand. There are a total of 6 heading elements. Though not all must be used. You only use what you need. For the remainder of this video, I will begin to refer to them as headings and subheadings, and that is because they must be used in a certain order. We will also be talking about the paragraph element. The paragraph element does not belong in any particular order, rather it's used to display bodies of paragraph, as you will see in the following examples. First, we begin with the heading element. There can only be one heading element, and that is because it encompasses the entire HTML document. Then we have our subheadings. Our subheadings are how to serve coffee cold and how to serve coffee hot. Then we have our subheadings, which are how to serve coffee cold in a mug, how to serve coffee cold in a glass, and how to serve coffee hot in a mug. What's important here is to note the relationship between these text elements. Now that we transcribed our example into HTML elements, we can see how the relationship between these elements helps us more easily understand the information that is being displayed. Taking the example we saw in the previous slides, let's create an HTML document. Our document begins with a heading, and that heading displays how to serve coffee. To create a heading, we use a heading 1 element. We begin with the H1 opening tag. Our content here, it's how to serve coffee. Then we finish the element with a closing tag. We should focus on the headings first and then place the paragraph elements at the end. Our first subheading displays how to serve coffee cold. To display a subheading, we can use a heading 2 element. We begin with an H2 opening tag, our content, serving it cold. Then we close it with a closing tag. Our next subheading is serving it hot. We begin with an H2 opening tag, serving it hot, and we finish it with a closing tag. Now that we have all of our subheadings displayed, we can jump over to our subheadings. Our first subheading is how to serve coffee cold in a mug. To display a subheading, we can use a heading 3 element. We begin with an H3 opening tag, our content, in a mug, and we close it with an H3 closing tag. The next subheading is how to serve coffee cold in a cup. We begin with an H3 opening tag, our content in a cup, and an H3 closing tag. Our last subheading is how to serve coffee hot in a mug. We begin with an H3 opening tag in a mug, and we close it with an H3 closing tag. Now that we have all of our headings, we can begin to insert our paragraph elements. To save us time, I've gone ahead and I've copied the text into my clipboard. Our first paragraph element falls under how to serve coffee. We begin our paragraph element with an opening P tag, our content, and then we close it with a closing P tag. The next paragraph element falls under how to serve coffee cold in a mug. We begin with an opening P tag, our content, then a closing p tag. Our next paragraph element falls under how to serve coffee cold in a cup. We begin with an opening p tag, our content, and a closing p tag. Our last paragraph element falls under how to serve coffee hot in a mug. We begin with an opening p tag, our content, and a closing p tag. Looking at the example on our right, we see that the data is easier to understand because we have structure. HTML alone looks pretty plain and boring. We need CSS to make it look nice, but CSS will come at a later time. Now we are focusing on the importance of structure and the relationship between these text elements. Thank you for watching. In the next video, we are going to learn about attributes. We are going to learn what they are and how they are related to HTML elements. If you enjoyed this content, please consider subscribing and hitting the like button as it really helps me out. Thank you and see you next time.